Well, welcome everyone. I think we'll get started. Good to see you all here today. I shared the notes document for this meeting in chat, so if anybody wants to add any comments, announcements, feel free to go in and add it live. We'll also have a note taker today, and I'll share the notes with everybody on this call after the meeting. So just to get started, I'm going to give a very brief spiel on MxG for those who might not have been here before, and then we'll kick it off. So Maine Accelerates Growth is a statewide network of organizations and individuals that support entrepreneurs and innovators to scale in Maine and beyond. We believe that a vibrant, inclusive innovation on the entrepreneurial ecosystem will result in a more abundant, equitable, and sustainable economy and make Maine a great place to live, work, and play. We work together to share expertise, seek best practices, and to address system gaps. We promote the successes of Maine startups and entrepreneur support organizations and collaborate to attract talent and inspire innovation. So just before we get started, I know there's some new faces here, folks who haven't been here for a while. So if anybody, either first time or you haven't been on in like a year or so, if you want to just take a moment to very quickly introduce yourself, feel free to just raise your hand and shout out your name. Go for it, Naman.
So hey everyone, I'm Naman. Nice to meet you. I'm one of the startup presenters today. So I'm working on a technology that I think excites you. So I'm going to keep secret for now, but let's see how it goes.
Great, thanks. Anybody? Go ahead, Ackeem.
Hey everyone, I'm also presenting today. It's weird because my computer screen is here, but the camera is here. So even though it may look like I'm looking down, I am looking at the screen at everyone else. But excited to tell you about how we've developed our platform.
Great. Anybody else who's new who would like to introduce themselves? Go ahead, Chris.
I can just say hi. I'm Chris Cary with the New England Ocean Cluster here on the Portland waterfront, and I'm looking forward to sharing a bit about what we do.
Great. Anybody else who's here for the first time or first time in a while? Okay, great. Well, the first update is actually from MTI, and I'll be giving that, but we don't actually have very much to announce this month. So really the only thing I wanted to highlight is we have a new hire, Selena, who's on the call here. Selena, do you want to take a moment just to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Selena. I'm the office coordinator at Maine Technology Institute. This is my second week of working with MTI and working at MTI, and I look forward to hearing all your presentations.
Thanks, Selena. So that's the only MTI update. So I'll just pass it over to Shay at DCD.
Yep. Hi, everybody. I'm Shay McGee. I'm the business development coordinator over at DCD. Just a couple of updates. Julia's been working on touring the state with the strategic plan update, and that includes in-person forums. There's 3 left. I popped them into the notes. The remaining ones are Presque Isle, Lubec, and Bangor. So if anybody's interested in attending those in-person events, if you haven't been to one yet, the RSVP link is in the notes, as well as the progress report on the 10-year economic development plan. 2 other things. This is the last pre-notice at MxG for the inaugural Maine Space Conference. So that's coming up early November, the 5th through the 7th, down in Portland. This is pretty exciting. There's some good speakers, some interesting work I think will happen there. So if you're available and interested, that registration link is also in the notes. And 2 more call outs, just select Maine sites. We've been getting great feedback from businesses and from towns that it's been really, really helpful. So I just want to make sure that's on everyone's radar. You can list vacant properties and co-locations. It's all free. Ben Servant is kind of the contact there if you've got anything you want to post. If you're looking to relocate your business or expand, that's a site that lists the commercial and industrial properties in Maine. And there's some nice economic data in there as well. So it's a really neat tool, all free. So in case that is news to you. And then an update on the domestic trade grants. It hasn't been announced yet. I posted in the link to check because hopefully it will be coming out soon. But that wraps it up. Let me know if you have any questions.
Great, thanks, Shay. And if you want to add any of those links or anything to the notes or post them in the chat, please do.
Yep, they're in the notes. I pre-gamed my notes today. So
Nice.
They're all in there.
Great, perfect. Awesome. Well, we'll move on to the first startup presenter, who is Ackeem Evans from CIVA, formerly known as the Election Bridge. Ackeem, you're good to go ahead and share your screen. You have 5 minutes to present, and then there'll be a 5-minute Q&A, and I'll try to post a timer that should be playing just so you can see how much time you have left. And you're muted, in case you're not aware.
Sounds good. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, it's not in presentation mode, but can see the screen.
Okay, there we go. All right, let me know when to start.
Go for it.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Ackeem Evans, co-founder and CEO of CIVA. We were previously known as Election Bridge when we came into it, so we're excited about this evolution in the company. And our company helps connect organizations with the government resources critical to their success. Some of you know me, some of you don't, but my co-founder and I met while serving in Eastern Europe, Albania during the Peace Corps. And in many ways, that experience of working in a early democracy was the genesis of the company we started to build and has evolved in what we build today. We saw the need for technology to revolutionize the way governments and organizations come together. Oops, I don't know why that popped up. But in the 1960s, as you see, or 1600s, newspapers were super innovative, and I've continued to learn that are still some of the ways that government told organizations about resources and funding opportunities that are available to them, and kind of like how MxG was doing earlier. And then from that, we were able, thankfully, could go into the internet, and then now grants.gov, and we've made some progress since the days of the newspaper, but 1 in 3 organizations still cite lack of funding opportunities as a reason to why they failed. And the data reflects that there are over 15 billion in missed government funding or resource opportunities every year. The need for CIVA is more prevalent than ever, as you see 65% of nonprofit revenue for over half of the nonprofits in the US come from government funding. However, as I said before, they still miss out on billions of dollars in annual opportunity because they don't understand the policy process. And to solve that is why we created CIVA. CIVA leverages AI platform. Our AI platform captures the entire government policy making and distribution process to simplify and streamline access to government funding to organizations to help them support their missions. The reality is, you see what happens on the left. This is typically how a person would kind of go through trying to find different opportunities. And with CIVA, we're able to simplify that into a super small amount of steps, saving time, money, and resources. With the over 1.5 million nonprofits that are in the US, and we're starting with that, but then growing into the 25 million small businesses and 100,000 trade associations / unions, the market is about $20 billion. And if we target just 6% of a percentage of money that nonprofits can spend on working with government, which is kind of called advocacy, we will still be at a starting point of 600 billion. However, nonprofits, like I said, are just a start. We're looking to expand into the small businesses, and then as we then move into more associations and different labor unions or different types of things which are made up of different associations, and then eventually work with the government, you can see the transition of the power of advocacy software as the government focuses more on digitizing government to help facilitate information sharing to different community members. Our offering is really competitive and innovative in the space, as we focus a lot on grassroots and starting that bottom-up approach. And AI technology puts us at the forefront of the advocacy software. That foundational focus of innovation has enabled us to create this CIVA experience, what you see here. for organizations where with a few steps, you're able to go from onboarding to our platform to exploring access different government funding and research opportunities and connecting with the people that you need to in order to learn more or apply for those opportunities. Come on. Over the past 2 years, our growth has resulted in accomplishing incredible milestones, from joining accelerators, launching paid pilots, receiving government funding, thanks MTI, raising private capital with additional national organizations in the pipeline for 2024. Come on. There we go. Right now, we're currently raising our C round. I'm running out of time for $1 million, which would get us through 18 months of traction to accomplish a lot of these milestones that you see here today. And with my last 30 seconds, I just want to say that our team has been doing this, and combined, we have about 35 years in the political and our tech development space. And with the addition of Forrest, who was working for another startup, civic intelligence startup, but then joined us as our chief product officer, leading our technology team, has enabled us to revamp the new flow that you see today. We understand that nonprofits have instrumental impact in the lives of everyday people, as they are often born of seeing a problem and know how to address them. And with CIVA, we're able to help give them the resources to be successful. There we go. Try to pull it in at the last minute.
Great job. You nailed the time. So if folks have questions, feel free to just raise your hand. Maybe I'll just kick us off. Ackeem, I know you have some ongoing projects. Do you want to just give the group maybe an example of one of the projects you have ongoing so folks can kind of conceptualize how the product works?
Yeah, so we work with different community associations, and now we're looking to expand into more, I guess, organizations that support multiple smaller associations to then access the government resources. But what it would look like is coming together, talking with your members, figuring out what the problem is, and then from that, us connecting you and that issue to specific policies or programs or funding opportunities that were designated for that. And then you apply for that and continue to work through and connect with the elected official, program managers, policy, whoever it may be, to see that problem through fruition. So we helped an organization in Georgia. They wanted to do infrastructure improvement. We connected them with the county officials. The county officials said, we have this SWAS program that dedicated X amount towards community improvement capabilities. And then they were able to get about, $35,000 to fix roads and fix sidewalks and stuff like that. So that's the type of work that we do. And we have some stuff in the pipeline. We have like some letters of intent to expand down into Boston and in here in Maine over the next year or so. And that's why we're really pushing to raise and close the fund in order to help support those efforts.
Great. Other questions for Ackeem? Feel free to just raise your hand either virtually or in person. Looking around to see if I see any. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Ackeem, I apologize if I missed it, but are you're operational in some senses, but you're not at full scale yet, right?
Yeah. So we're doing a lot of closed beta pilots, especially with the new relaunch. So we just revamped the platform in, August? And over the last 3-4 months, we've been working to build out the new platform. So we have closed betas going again now with what's happening, and we have open availability in Maine, Boston, and Georgia. But as we continue to refine out some of those kinks and work with these organizations, then we would open up more at scale.
Mm-hmm. And just kind of piggybacking on that, when it's operational at the level that your vision is, will you connect people with opportunities, funding opportunities, and then also resources to help them pursue those perhaps? Or is it going to be kind of a connection tool, and then that individual or organization is responsible for ramping up, the effort to actually go after the funding?
Yeah. So initially it's just getting to the opportunity, then the organizations would have to pursue it, see it through. But we've also had, introductions to different grant making opportunities, and we have some interesting ideas of connecting with potentially like state funded grant writers, etc., that you can then see to connect with to support that. But we haven't implemented that yet, but that's something that we're working on that may be in the future pipeline.
Other questions for Ackeem? Well, I guess I'll ask a question that Liz was always great at asking, which is, you've got a great group of folks from across the state here, Ackeem. Is there anything in particular in terms of resources you're looking for or assistance? I mean, you mentioned a fundraising round, so I imagine that's one of the things you're looking at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. So if you know anyone funding in this space or be interested in exploring the space, I would definitely love to meet that person. We're also heading to San Francisco for a bit. So if you know anyone in that ecosystem, would love for you to connect us with anyone over there. I'm heading out there, I think Friday, well, tomorrow. And then lastly, we're collecting letters of intent. So we have a few in the pipeline that we're super excited about. So if you're interested in working with us, you can either go join the waiting list, which helps us in our fundraising efforts, or connect with us, and then we can show you more in detail what the platform does, and then you can join us in our vision, and then as soon as we open up, we can start expanding and working with you afterwards.
Great, awesome. Well, Ackeem, do you want to post your contact info in the chat just so folks, if they want to reach out with additional questions or thoughts, can reach out? And I think we'll move on from there to the next presenter, who is Caitlin over at Gorham Savings Bank. And thanks again for the presentation, Ackeem.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks, Tom. I'm just going to try to share my screen here. All right. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes. And I will start the timer now if you're good to go.
Perfect. So hi, everyone. I'm Caitlin Ouellette. I am with Gorham Savings Bank. I work in the marketing department here and help spearhead our LaunchPad program. So just wanted to take a couple minutes today to share more about that with you. So this year will mark our 10th annual LaunchPad event. We started it back in 2013, and it is the bank's small business competition. This year will also mark over 500,000 in grants from the bank to Maine small businesses. And so this is very timely because our live pitch event is coming up on Tuesday, the 24th of October. Next week, we have a 4:30 p.m. social gathering. That's an hour-long chance to network with other entrepreneurs, supporters, influencers, investors, anyone who's there. We have light appetizers and drinks available. And then our competition kicks off at 5:30 p.m. that evening. We're hosting it at UNE's Innovation Hall, perfectly named, which is on their Portland campus off Stevens Avenue. And so essentially what it is a live pitch event. We have 5 finalists that I'll share with you in a moment that were selected to pitch live for 3 minutes, followed by 7 minutes of Q&A with our judges. And ultimately, one of them is selected to award a $50,000 grant from the bank. We also have an emerging business award category, which is a $10,000 grant and another $10,000 of in-kind business and marketing services that come with that prize level. And we've selected another 5 finalists for that award that will submit pitch videos that will play at the event for the audience, and that winner will be announced that evening as well. So it's a lot of fun. It's a really great celebration of Maine's entrepreneur community to sort of bring everyone together, showcase the finalists, a lot of inspiration that night. And so these are the folks that you'll see if you attend next week. Pitching live for $50,000 are Bijou Build, Bonzi, Book Clubs, and Kenne and Ocean Data Network. So some may sound familiar. And then for our Emerging Business Award, submitting pitch videos is Amply Energy, Axel Camp, Black Travel Maine, Reach My Teach, and Shred Electric. So it's a really great, diverse set of finalists this year, and we're really excited for the event and to celebrate our 10th anniversary of LaunchPad. And so just looking back at some of our past winners, probably some familiar names here of notable Maine entrepreneurs. We've got Flowfold, Bixby Chocolate, Good to Go, and a whole sort of diverse set over the last 10 years of past winners. And so just wanted to put a plug out for all of you in the entrepreneur community to come out on Tuesday evening and join us. You can RSVP online to save your seat. I'll put the invitation in the chat after this. It is free. It's open to the public. The more the merrier. So definitely invite your colleagues or mentors or clients to join you and come out and support the finalists and network with other folks in the community. And Gorham Savings.bank/launchpad is our whole microsite dedicated to the program. So there you can see the agenda for the evening, check out and learn more about the finalists and RSVP. And so this is Innovation Hall from last year's event with our winner last year, Tanbark. Melissa Lacase, CEO of Tanbark, will actually be back this year to give us an update on progress she's made since winning in 2022. We'll also hear from HighBite, who was our 2021 winner. And again, we have that social hour beforehand, which is just a really great opportunity for networking. And with that, yeah, save your seat. Again, I'll send this invitation in the chat and hope to see a bunch of you there. And thanks so much for letting me give a little plug for our LaunchPad live pitch event next Tuesday.
Great, thanks, Caitlin. You don't mind stop sharing just so it'll make it easier for me to see if folks are raising their hands for questions.
Yes. Let's see.
And I'll kick it off, which I'm curious, what are kind of the criteria you use to select the finalists, and then what are they going to be judged on during the final pitch competition?
Yeah, so we have 5 judging criteria. That's sort of the core criteria of any business plan, and that's what they're judged on in the application phase, and then again for the live pitch events. So if I can remember them all, it's uniqueness, how are they disrupting their industry or innovating, the strength of the management team, what is the impact of the funds on their business and scaling and growth, and the impact of their business on Maine as well. We're really looking for a company that's Maine-based and will have an impact on Maine's economy and job creation here.
Any other questions? I had a couple more, but I don't want to monopolize the time. Well, so next question is, working at MTI, we see a lot of companies. Are folks able to apply multiple times to, over different years?
Yes, absolutely. And I should have mentioned that one of our finalists that's pitching live is returning from last year. Book clubs pitched last year, and so she'll be back on stage. We also have Nkene that actually won our Emerging Business Award last year that's now pitching for the $50,000. So we definitely encourage folks to apply again. We've seen a lot of our past winners pitch multiple times and eventually, fine tune that and win. So we do encourage that.
And when do you start taking signups for the next year's edition?
So it will be midsummer. This year was July through August. So sometime midsummer next year we'll start accepting. And it is open statewide. Gorham Savings Bank's footprint is Southern Maine, but for the LaunchPad program, it's open to any Maine-based business.
Great. Any other questions for Caitlin? I'm going to see if I see any hands. Well, great. Well, thanks so much, Caitlin. If you want to share that information in the chat, and then also feel free to plug it into the notes, and hopefully we'll have a good, robust turnout from this group on Tuesday.
Awesome. I will do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, next up is Naman at EzOut.
All right, I'll share my screen. Cool. I believe you can. Yeah, you can. Cool. So my current audience is Chris, Caitlin, and Ackeem, and Tom here, who I see in my list. So yeah, I'll start. Hey everyone, I'm Naman, co-founder of EzOut. And at EzOut, we are driving grocery stores with our AI technology. We are changing the way we grocery shop today. Have you ever been to a grocery store and spent most of your time looking for an item? And when you're done, you have to wait at the checkout lane? So that's frustrating. Do you know grocery stores are going through a huge staffing shortage today? So today, our grocery employee is handicapped to do multiple tasks. They are restocking inventory, they are assisting your customer experience, as well as they have to help with the curbside pickup operations. So what we learned that earlier this year, 63% of grocers were employee deficient to perform front-end operations. And with rise in inflation and their thin profit margins, stores are struggling to survive. EzOut solves this understaffing issue by providing a smart shopping cart technology. So it's a smart screen that we mount on any standard shopping cart. It allows shoppers to pay on the shopping cart and bypass the checkout lane. So it reduces the labor costs on the cashier register. It personalizes your experience. So as you're shopping, it recommends you that, hey, you like chocolates a lot, so here's a special deal for you. So it personalizes your experience. Now our AI is collecting this real-time insights on shoppers' behavior, and it's provided to a grocery store in a form of a heat map. So this heat map allows grocery stores to come closer to the shopper and understand how a shopper behaves. This helps store to increase their sales by 30% and increase their efficiency by 60%. Right now we are targeting independent grocers who share 1/3 of the US's grocery supermarket size. So right now there are 21,000 independent grocery stores, and we are targeting high-end grocery stores as our early adopters. So New England has roughly 1,500 high-end grocery stores. So far we have 3 letters of support, one from Giant Eagle, a food co-op in Pittsburgh, and a CPG brand. So the current market size of smart shopping cart is 1.7 billions and is projected to increase to 10 billion just in 6 years. But we are not the only one. We have pretty amazing competitors, Instacart, Amazon, and Shopping. What makes us unique is we learned that stores don't know what to do with the data. So we drive grocery stores with the data, and we tell grocery store that, hey, you should assign your store employees to this during peak hours. So now our technology helps stores to know, okay, now employee can restock inventory during peak hours rather than standing at cashier register, or vice versa. So our current revenue model, we have 2 revenue models at this point. One is the subscription model, which is a monthly recurring fee from grocery stores, which are our customers. One is a convenience fee, which we charge from shoppers for using EzOut shopping cart. So if we target the early adopters, we get the revenue of roughly 9 millions in 3 years. And as we move forward in 10 years, we get the revenue more than 10 billions. So the idea is that we are creating an ecosystem out of it. And to develop this ecosystem, we have a very diverse team. The co-founders have experience in working in their previous startups, deploying previous startups, and working on deep machine learning technology. We have a silent partner who has expertise in this industry in developing apps for retail devices. We have business advisor from Carnegie Mellon University, and we have mentors who have connections with Hannaford's, Giant Eagle, and a couple of medium-sized grocery stores in United States. So currently we are looking for pre-seed of $500,000 at a equity of 12%. So that this $500,000 help us to develop 20 prototypes of smart shopping carts, which we can use to launch an alpha with one of our potential partners. And down the line, we can launch a product with them after pilot. So our vision is to create this AI-driven ecosystem that not only assists shoppers with their everyday shopping, but also helps grocery store employees to optimize their day-to-day operations and solve everyday problems at grocery store. If you want to change the way we grocery shop today, if you want to help stores innovate faster as compared to big competitors, join us on this technology, join us on this journey, and help us out. This is EzOut, and we are making smart shopping carts to help independent grocery stores. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have 20 seconds. Can I show a video if it's okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Wait, stop share. Share sound. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. Any questions? Go ahead, Jonathan, and then Mike.
How do you process items that are sold by weight?
So we have weight sensor at the base of the shopping cart. So yeah.
Wow.
Mike, go ahead.
Devin, nice presentation. I apologize if I missed something, but with the system, are you allowed to bypass the checkout line?
Yeah, you can pay on the shopping cart anywhere and just walk out.
No. Okay.
I'm curious what sort of conversations you've had with grocery stores. One of the questions that came to mind is what's the risk of like shoplifting or folks not properly scanning what they're buying? Is that a concern?
Yeah, shrinkage is one of the biggest issue, and obviously every grocery store is hesitant to adopt new technology when it comes to shrinkage. This is something every store tells us, and since we have a weight sensor at the bottom, I usually give this analogy of self-checkout counter on wheels. So as you're scanning, as you're putting items on the shopping cart, the weighing scale basically takes the absolute weight that, oh, there's something is added. And as you scan the barcode, it knows the information about this. So it reduces the shrinkage. It doesn't solve the shrinkage, but it reduces the shrinkage by 50%.
Yeah, and I guess self-checkout is a very, on wheels. That makes a lot of sense. It's very similar to what folks can already do.
Right.
And are you running any pilot projects yet in any stores, or is that something you need to get to that 500,000 amount and then you're going to be able to run some pilots?
We can run pilot right now, but we are looking for connections and test partners first. So we want to first test the technology, and if the relations and KPIs are good, we can definitely schedule a pilot afterwards.
Great. And I guess my last question is, same question I asked Ackeem, which is what sort of resources might you be looking for from the group, from the broader Maine ecosystem?
So right now we are already talking to Hannaford right now to understand how their store works, but we're looking for more grocery stores who we can help. And honestly, we would like to test our technology. So that's one of the help we're looking for. Like if anybody knows someone or owns a grocery store, we would like to test their technology to get feedback on our product and improve the product.
Great. Any other questions? Chris, go ahead.
Hey, I was going to ask if there's any circumstance where it could be on a personal device. So like an app-based technology as well.
Yeah, honestly, it's still an iOS app at this point, but after talking to shoppers, what I learned is shoppers don't like to use their personal device to do someone else's task. So we kind of avoid. And the whole idea is we're an experience company. We are going to license the experience part in the future. So the experience will reduce if the screen size is smaller. So the bigger, the better. So that's, yeah.
Great. Well, thanks so much. And Naman, if you want to put your info in the chat, and then any information you wanted to add to the note sheet would be great.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Yep.
All right. And then our last presenter today is Chris Cary at the New England Ocean Cluster.
See if this does it. Not in presentation mode yet. Let me just find that. Where am I looking?
I think if you go to the slideshow one.
Oh, I lost it. I just couldn't see it because of the other window.
Okay, great.
All right, thanks. All right, I'll jump into it. First of all, I was super impressed with everyone's timing and nailing the 5 minutes. I'm sure Lori, I think I saw Lori on there, was very impressed with the 5-minute pitching. Mine's less of a pitch and more of an informational presentation about the Ocean Cluster. My name is Chris Cary. I'm the COO and CMO, and we are a for-profit private sector operation located on the Portland waterfront. That's our building right there. We're above Scales Restaurant. Our kind of mission statement is in support of economic development. So what I like to tell people about the Ocean Cluster who are learning about it for the first time is that we're really in the business of supporting blue economy entrepreneurs through the intentional connection of people. What we like to do is have a very rich and diverse network of people that we know so that we can connect them, connect people with capacities to those that have needs. And our kind of primary clientele are, I would say, kind of your standard entrepreneurs, but also institutional entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs as well. And our kind of primary asset that we develop and offer is what we call the HOOS. This is a community workplace. It is around 8,500 square feet. We have 20 glass front offices in the building. We have around 30 tenants from a diversity of backgrounds and industries. Some are pre-revenue, all the way up to companies doing tens of millions of dollars in business. As you can imagine, entrepreneurs with those kind of broad differences in maturity have different needs of a place like this. Some need a very kind of reliable place to work. Others really need connection to people that have experiences that can be shared. So it's nice that the tenants have this kind of place to work, but with it comes a curated community of people that are really interested in seeing everyone be successful. So it's a comfortable place to come to work, but then to also seek mentorship or just expertise in areas that you may not have yourself. So that's the HOOS. The other side of kind of our operation and our approach to blue economy development is designing accessible programming. And we've done a lot of this over the years. We opened the HOOS on March 20th of 2020 and kind of promptly closed right after opening. So we've been doing programming for a long time. And now that things have started to get busy, we are heading into 2024 with a very committed effort to design program that is highly accessible to the community, the business community. So we have a handful of programs that we're in the process of growing and launching and kind of introducing at scale to the business community here in the state that are focused on supporting pre-revenue entrepreneurs that really just want to come in and connect and meet people that can help their business. We offer a program called Inclusion in the Blue Economy, which is designed to increase the diversity of leadership in the blue economy space. You know, as it relates to heritage Maine, I don't know, I guess the best term would be heritage Maine operations that are connected to the water. There's a lot of older white male characteristics to them. And the inclusion program is meant to bring people from more diverse backgrounds into the blue economy space so that we can get more a higher injection of creative ideas and different ways of thinking. So that program is sponsored, and cohort members get to come to the building, for example, and work for a 6-month period at no cost. They get to develop their ideas, talk to other entrepreneurs, and then hopefully graduate from that cohort and go on to be successful. The hatchery and the inclusion programs are really focused on pre-revenue entrepreneurs getting new businesses, new ideas into a community that can help them. And then for more developed companies, we have something called the Soft Landing Program, and that's a program that we designed in collaboration with a handful of folks. We're working with Focus Maine and Maine Center for Entrepreneurs on providing a really friendly, welcoming community here in Portland for startups that are abroad that want to enter into the North American marketplace and do business here. So those are kind of the 3 programs that I'm really excited for in 2024 as we push ahead. You know, our role is really focused around bringing companies to Maine or supporting entrepreneurs here in Maine and getting them to a point where they can be successful on their own. So, yep, we're focused on those early stage operations, and happy to answer questions. It's a lot to try to fit into 5 minutes.
You did a great job. Thank you. Questions for Chris? Well, I'll kick it off as always, which is, do you, for those 3 programs, Inclusion of the Blue Economy and the Hatchery and the Soft Landing Program, what's the kind of programmatic structure in terms of, do companies pay a fee to join, or what does that look like?
Yeah, it's a good question. I had a framework slide up, but I realized I wasn't going to have enough time to get to it. The framework for those programs really all start with either referrals or some sort of discovery. For example, with a soft landing program, we work with Business Iceland to identify Scandinavian-based entrepreneurs. They refer people that they've vetted to us, and then we have a conversation with them here. But then we take a coffee. We work with Focus Maine and our supporters to acquire the assets to afford the time to meet with the entrepreneurs in small doses at the beginning to try to understand who they are, what their needs are, and what types of solutions they might be seeking. And from there, we'll go through a period of some due diligence internally, but making warm introductions to people across the network that have, very aligned capacities to help the entrepreneur with their specific need. Different when we think about the Ocean cluster as compared to a RU Institute, a Techstars, some of the more formal Maine Center for Entrepreneurs programming, we want it to be non-duplicative as it relates to all of those. We're not a venture fund. We don't necessarily build programs that take equity in companies. We more want to fit that role kind of where the rubber meets the road and take a grassroots approach. So we don't have criteria outside of asking that companies have a viable idea or be committed to the project that they're presenting to us. You don't have to be at a certain revenue state. You just have to have an idea and a question that you want to pursue. So the point of entry, the framework is very low barriers, and we want more folks to come to us to just kind of ask questions and get plugged in.
Great, thanks, Chris. I see Ken raised his hand. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, did you say you're a for-profit organization, and how is that decision arrived at? I would have thought you would be a nonprofit.
Yeah, it's another great question. I'll answer it as quickly as I can. The Iceland Ocean Cluster is our partner in the kind of ideologies that we have as an organization. There's a lot of Scandinavian undertone there, so a lot of social support. We actually, MTI brought the founder of the Iceland Ocean Cluster over to Maine in 2014 or 2015 to talk about entrepreneurship and innovation on and around the ocean, in particular dealing with the living resource economy, so things you might fish or cultivate. And he presented on his model and said to the group, this must be a for-profit enterprise. It has to be a for-profit business. And everyone in the room asked him why it shouldn't be a nonprofit. And he said, because you have to be nimble, fast-moving, and you have to almost be an entrepreneur yourself to understand and get, at the same level as the entrepreneurs that you're supporting. So that's the primary reason, but it comes with challenges, and we've had to work really hard to arrive at a revenue model that kind of sustains the organization.
Great, thanks. And then Ali, looks like you're up next.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Chris. Really exciting to hear about the different programs you're rolling out and are already in progress. I'm curious about the program that attracts international companies. It sounds like, and you mentioned Iceland. Do you have pipelines into other international companies? And if not, do you have your eye on other areas that are kind of ripe for attracting to Maine?
Yeah, and there's obviously a lot of international activity taking place in the state. Maine International Trade Center does great stuff. Maine Center for Entrepreneurs attracts great companies, and our area of focus happens to be the North Atlantic and Arctic regions to start. A lot of Scandinavian countries. Our CEO, Patrick Arnold, is in Iceland right now at the Arctic Circle Assembly Conference in Reykjavik. And that is a geopolitical conference that brings in people from all over the world. And so right now it's predominantly the North Atlantic and kind of Canadian spaces, but the services exist for any company, and it doesn't have to just be ocean. We generally, if we have an intake, we then pump the companies out to the relevant organizations in the state that support any type of soft landing, including Maine and Company, Maine Development Foundation, those types of places.
Great. I see Joe had a comment as well, just saying well said on behalf of the need for entrepreneurial mindset and nimbleness of leadership is the reason. Any last questions for Chris? We have a couple of minutes, and if not, we can turn over to announcements. Just checking to see if anybody had a question. No? Okay, great. So just the last item for today is if anybody has any organizational announcements that they'd like to share, we've got a little bit of time, so feel free to raise your hand if there's anything exciting going on at your organization. Lori, I see your hand shot up, so you can go ahead.
Top Gun 2024 applications are open.
Ooh.
Yep. Just
And
wanted
I
to...
imagine folks can find that on the MCE website.
Yep, absolutely. And many of you will be getting a personal email from me as well with the link and things like that. I usually send one out probably early next week. So they're open till November 30th. So there's plenty of time, but just thought I'd share it with you now here.
Great. Thanks, Lori. Let's go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to promote the event. If anyone wants to feel what the ocean cluster is like or see the building or participate in a community event, we have one called Aquaculture Isn't Scary, It's Necessary coming up next week. The registration link is there. We have a cool panel of entrepreneurs. One of the entrepreneurs is a gentleman who just moved his family of 4 young girls and his wife from Australia. So he'll be talking a little bit about what that process was like, but love to see anyone who wants to attend.
Great, thanks, Chris, and feel free to put that in the chat and also in the notes. Emily, go ahead.
Awesome, thank you, Tom. I just wanted to quickly mention that Merck, which is an MTI program, and the Association for Consulting Expertise, ACE, are hosting a scope of work workshop tomorrow. The audience being consultants who are drafting scopes of work for clients, individuals reviewing scopes of work and applications, and also potential applicants to both MTI and Merck programs, as MTI requires scopes of work for both MTI core and Merck applications. I don't think it's too late to register. Yeah, I know it's not too late to register, so if you want to register and check it out, we have both in-person and online options. The online option is free for startups, and you can see the registration link in the notes below. Awesome, and that's all I have. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Any other? Oh, Ali, go ahead.
Hi, thanks. And thanks, Emily, for the reminder. We'll make another plug. Ali from the Rue Institute, Future of Healthcare Founder Residency. Our applications are open for the 2024 healthcare residency that kicks off here at the Rue Institute in April in partnership with Maine Health and Northern Light Health. If you know any health tech entrepreneurs that are early stage, feel free to connect them with us, and we'd be happy to either have a coffee chat and explain more about the program, or they can join some info sessions. And so I'll drop our website in the chat as well.
Thanks. Looking around to see if there's any other hands. Jonathan, anything, not to put you on the spot, but anything exciting happening over at SCORE?
Always, but nothing specific to promote right now.
Okay, well,
Thank
I think sure. Well, thanks to all the presenters and everybody for joining today. I think that'll do it for today's meeting. And our next meeting is the 3rd Thursday of November. So looking forward to seeing you all then. Thanks, take care.
Thank you for the opportunity.